It's my brother Naz, Jordan, and Yao. How you doing, people? Hope you're doing good.
I'm good, mate. Naz. Is Naz a
Yeah.
ghost all of a sudden? Where's this man
No,
at?
hey, listen, the brother appeared in my brain cells, man. You know what I mean? So
That was like
is that
the,
is that
the
is
ghost,
that is that 420 conversation we've been having, man? You
the
get
fucking ghost of dust up shakedown past came along there and just fucking.
trust me, man. He came and haunted the house. Yeah, man. How about you, Yao? Hope you're doing good.
I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Ola. Good to talk all things MMA again with you as usual. Two
Yeah,
nights
man.
in a
Big up.
row.
Yeah, man, for real, for real, for real. Because we did an episode on Kick 'em in the Head Kick podcast yesterday with Yao. We chewed up on some topics there. So if you haven't seen it, head over there. When this is done, when you're done here, head over there and go and check out the video we did yesterday and some of his past content as well. Show you some love, and if you need to, make sure you're subscribing. Yo, we just had Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas week. Some crazy fights happened there. We're gonna
One
talk
thing.
about,
I asked one thing.
bro. You know, we're not talking about the scores or the scorecard. Yeah, if you want to know about the scores and the scorecard, go on the Head Kick Pod where I talked about it with Yao. But not while you're here. You know what I mean? Well, not while you're here, brother. Not while you're here, man. Come back, come back,
Mate.
come back. It's all love, man. It's all love. No, seriously though, good card, and one of the crazy things, because we was talking about it while it was happening in our WhatsApp group, Jordan, and this brother when I'm beat Lima's when I'm beat Lima's out. The amount of times it was fence grabbing, you saw the fight, it looked like the ref was gonna go and duck Lima a point. Next thing you know, Lima snitching on him, saying,
Mhm.
"Bro, this man literally taking a pound off my arm, bro. Like, what's going on?" Tell me what you was thinking when you saw that, because I couldn't believe my eyes.
Well, given I had that man as one of my picks, I was pretty fucking fuming, if I'm
I
honest
knew
with
you
you,
was
mate.
fuming.
I
I knew you was
was
fuming.
watching that
And
and I
he
was
was
like,
winning.
and he was winning too, wasn't he?
He
You know what I
was
mean? I was like,
winning.
what has he just done? Why the fuck did he just bite that man? Like, honestly, there's got to be something. You know what I mean? There's got to be something going on inside these dudes' head that they lose control. I don't know. Like I said, he's the Luis Suarez of MMA. He just all of a sudden started biting brothers, man, and I was just like, what is this dude doing? Like, you can't be going out there and biting somebody. So, what do you guys think of the sanctions he's had? Obviously, lost all his purse, been kicked out of the UFC instantly, wasn't given any kind of warning, just disqualified, fight off. Like, you agree with it all? What you thinking on that
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. Look, number one, I was happy. I was happy. I was happy because I picked Lima. So that's number one. Let's get that out of the way. Now,
Me and
thinking
you gonna
about
fall out tonight, bro. Me and you are gonna fall out tonight.
I can see it, man. I can see it. Big up everybody that's rolling in. Salute to VP75. Big up yourself, my bro. Hope you're holding up well. Hope America is treating you good. Big up yourself. Thank you for stopping by. So, with Lima, he was losing the fight. And when you talk about the sanctions, the fight getting finished, I was thinking at least maybe, all right, it's a disqualification because it's part of the rules. You can't eye gouge, you can't headbutt somebody, and you can't be going around biting people. You know what I mean? And I called him moron of the bloody week. You know, I couldn't believe, and I don't like this.
Bite of the night. That was
Yo,
fucking out of
serious,
that, wasn't it?
serious. That was my man's slogan there. But for me, I just thought it was a moronic thing to do. You was about to win the fight. Lima was about to get 1 point docked off him for fence grabbing. Like, he had that fight won. So I just couldn't believe it. And Dana firing him on the spot, rightfully so. You know what? Thinking back at it, I'm saying rightfully so. Maybe some kind of warning. I think he might be too hard, right? Because like I said the other day, even it's happened to the best of them in Mike Tyson. So moments like that can happen in combat sport. But
Yeah.
it was a moronic thing to do. and I couldn't believe, and it's cost himself. For me, I wasn't even pissed off with him per se. For him, I was more pissed off for his team, the people that helped him prepare for the fight, to get to the fight, the nutrition, the sparring partners, the physios, everybody that helped him get into the cage, and you was winning the fight. You know, their foot for the labor is about to come true, and then you go and do that. You know, because he didn't just let himself down; he let everybody else that helped him get to the fight. He let them all down. You know, that's how I saw it. You know what I mean? So maybe the sanction after disappointing all those people, maybe that sanction might have been a bit harsh. I think maybe I thought it'd be a little bit too hasty on that question there. But thinking about it now, maybe it's a little bit too harsh considering everything else that it would have gone through. What about you, Yao?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Look, it was irresponsible, but it was intentional. And as the rules say, if it's intentional, disqualification. We can look at how Aljo won the belt. We can, look to quite a few fights where that happened. So yes, definitely DQ, and he needed to lose. Should he have lost his purse completely? I agree with Ola. It's unfair because his mistake means that everyone suffers. So, giving some of the purse means that at least he'll pay off everyone he owes, and he definitely probably wouldn't have anything. But he owes someone for having got there, because it's not very it's expensive to get to these fights. So, the sanctions are rather harsh. I think Jordan, it's McDane, sorry, it's one of those where it was messed up, and then he over and above, Dana went and gave a double bonus to Lima for basically losing the fight. So what does that really say about where the UFC places its value? So okay.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's what I was thinking as well. I thought, right, disqualification, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you better, man, get the fuck out of the cage. That's it. Fight's done and dusted. And he was even trying to say I didn't, and he was like, bro, yeah, I mean, you've seen
right there.
Yeah, you've seen this fucking Hulk-sized bite out of my fucking bicep. You know what I mean? Like, it was unbelievable. But like you say, people need to get paid. Yeah, maybe like they've done, fine him, like give him the sanction of a fine, take some of his purse away, give him what's left. He's got to pay his team. He's got to pay everybody else, and maybe he wouldn't have seen much of it. The full-on kick straight from the promotion, I thought was wild.
That's harsh.
Wild.
That's harsh.
Do you think another promotion would take him?
Yeah, someone's going to pick him up.
Yeah.
He's 20 years old, bro. Like, he's got talent.
And he's a good fighter. He was winning the fight. He's a good fighter.
He'll probably be back then.
Yeah, he'd be back. PFL 1 million, and he'd be back.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't even put it past the UFC picking him back up again. We've seen people do crazier shit than this, get caught and come back to the UFC. So but right now I don't.
Vance St. Preux, he came back and look, he beat Chidi.
Yeah. So it's there for it. He's got to pick it up, man. He's got to pick it back up. Like I said, he looks like a good fighter. He was picking it up, and then it did some crazy like that. There were some really, really good fights though that I do wanna touch on there. But what fight on the whole card, Jordan? Let me ask you, really, really got you in terms of like what you saw, maybe performance from a fighter. Which fight did you like the most? Which one grabbed you?
I like the most. So obviously, I only really caught the prelims on the night because I ended up going to bed because I was getting up and going to. It was the first card in a long time where I've not been traveling and I've not actually watched the full thing in the Bloody House. Let me have a quick look back through them and just have a little think on that one, mate. There was some decent fights in the where am I going here? There we go. Events. And I have gone back and watched the other ones. I was really surprised with well, I can't say I was really surprised, but Peyton Talbot and Karen Simon, that was a banger. Talbot was absolutely unreal. I was quite happy with Usman and Mick Parkin. Obviously, I picked Parkin to get that one. It went pretty much how I thought it would go.
Yeah.
Miles Johnson, Cody Gibson. That was a decent fight too. And Aaron's and Goyen. Yeah, I mean the prelims. I mean it was banger after banger all night. It was just like decent fights.
Yeah, man.
Just every single pick never went my fucking way.
Let me just big up my brother in the house, Tony Tony Claude Gunner TV. Salute to you, Tony. Big up yourself. Thank you very much for pulling up, brother. And we got Amin here. No, Lee is not here tonight. Lee's working on his own channel. But yeah, man, salute to you for pulling up. Thank you for stopping by. And we got Robbie Brown as well. He says Talbot was insane. Look, let's talk about this fight. Yeah, we talked about this, you know, on your channel yesterday, and that I don't know who sent me the tag. I think it might have been Leroy. Big up yourself, Leroy. Talbot just connecting that knee, and you could hear it cage side. Somebody cage side recorded it, and the sound bite
Did
to
you,
that
you hear
thing
that? Wow.
was nasty. It was gnarly, bro. You know what I mean? Like this sound bite to it was gnarly. And I says to myself, oh my God, he's out. Then MSP is not out. And he started earning his bloody name. But savage player, because he just stayed in. And all I kept saying is this brother got fucking hurt. He got, I don't know how he's still in this fight. But my God, Talbot looked clean. It was surgical. Everything that he meant to do went for him, you know what I mean? And he really stuck it on Cameron Simon. I know he's going to be back, and I know this must be a heavy loss to take for him. But you know, he's not that type of person. He'll be back. He'll go back to the drawing board and you know, and make adjustments where he needs to make adjustments. But let's talk about Talbot, the guy that won, because I really think is a very talented fighter.
Before we get onto his talents, can we talk about the one controversial thing that he posted on Twitter this week? Anybody see it?
No,
Did anybody see it?
Oh, yes,
Did you not see it?
No, I missed it. What did he put?
He's what did he poop? He might have pooped something. He was taking a drag of a vape, but it's not in the orifice that you think you would have been taking a fucking drag of a vape from.
Oh, then there was more than one image of Peyton on Twitter.
Yeah.
What did you see?
I want to keep this live monetizing of people. You know what I mean? Like,
what you're saying? Yeah, what is it you seen?
Him wearing a crop top in a field of.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's not that controversial, bro. That's
minor things,
yeah.
man. Minor.
That's a Sunday for all of that, man. You know what I mean? Like
that's minor. Things. Minor things.
Peyton Talbot rolled around himself like a pretzel, stuck a disposable vape in his ass, pulled a fucking drawer of that thing, then puffed the smoke back out of it. Like, why?
I didn't know that was him, but I saw that video.
I'm pretty sure it was him.
You saw the video?
I saw the video too.
No, I ain't seen this video. I ain't gonna look for it either, man. I think no. You don't need to send. You've already told me what the fuck happened. It's more graphic. It's graphic enough, man. Thank you very much.
It was like
I didn't scroll fast enough.
Well, I said you need to scroll fast enough, you know. Oh my God!
You mean you never scroll fast enough back to watch it again? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, man. Big up everybody that's rolling in right now. Salute to all of you, man. You, man, make sure you're hitting the like button as you're coming in. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I see a bunch of you rolling in. Let's talk about Peyton in that fight. Yo, I was gonna come to you first, Jordan, but we'll hold your thought.
Because I've gone on a tangent. We go to Yao, mate.
Bro.
If you want to keep this professional on MMA, go to the man below.
What did you make of Peyton as a fighter? What you saw of his skill set, and not just putting somebody like Cameron Simon away, who we know is a legit 135er. What do you make of his performance?
7-0, now 8-0 for a reason. The precision, the skill, the talent that he showed against someone that we know, like you said, is as skilled as MSP, as resilient as MSP, as you've spoken about, that knee. Ooh, that knee hit. So if we take how he performed in this fight, the bantamweight division is stacked, and you need to have those kind of skills to get up there. And he's showing that whatever he's doing in his camps, whatever he's doing in training is actually working and getting him to a level that's going to propel him into the top 15, probably in the next 2 fights, based on how he performed. I mean, you don't just manhandle Cameron Simon like that. I mean, nobody does that. So for me, it's exciting to see a new prospect in that division, that weight class, that should be hopefully rising. And I mean, at 8-0, yeah, when you're 10-0, 11-0, that's when people start looking at you, start noticing. So 2 more fights, he's going to be somewhere close to maybe a main event. Let's see who they put in front of him next. Actually, who would you like to see him put in front of him as well? Because I'm not too sure.
While Jordan is telling us more about Peyton's fighting skills, I know his vaping skills. Let me look through the rankings real quick.
His multi-orifice vaping skills.
His multi-orifice vaping skills, man. He is multi-talented anyway, I'll tell you that. Nah, right, that left that connected on the way in was absolutely insane. Like, if you've seen it in slow-mo, you've seen Cameron Simon threw a punch that completely missed by inches. He connects with that left and just dropped him just before he finished that fight. Like I said, it was a manhandling, and we haven't really seen anybody do that to Cameron Simon before. It was unbelievable performance from Talbot, and he is going to go on. Have you seen his YouTube edit? Who is it? Ariel Helwani dropped it the other day. Somebody else dropped it too. His YouTube's sick. I hadn't even seen it before, but the editing style, everything about it is just absolutely sweet. And it just showing you a little bit about him watching some tape on Cameron and just researching for the fight and how he just approaches things, and just a little bit more of his personality. You know what I mean? It was brilliant to see, because that's what these fighters need to do these days, is build up this personality of themselves and build a character, and let the fans find somebody that they're going to enjoy watching inside and outside of the cage. You know what I mean? But he's got all the talent, he's got all the skills to keep working his way up. And what are you thinking? Or are you looking at like top 15? Are you thinking moving him up quickly? Are you thinking about getting him in somebody else?
I'm actually looking at his ranking right now. He's ranked 43. Cameron's in top 50. So this is the top 50 rankings that I'm looking at right now. And he's got Magomed ahead of him. He's got Ho Kang ahead of him. Morozov just ahead of him in number 40. He's got Miles Jones. So Rami Yahya, these are guys that
none of those names.
Miles Jones could be a banger. Miles Jones was on the same card.
Miles Jones was on the same card and he won. So I'd go as far. Miles Jones is 38. He is 43. It's a little bit of a jump, but there's a couple of guys in there that I'd rather him fight somebody like Ho Kang. I'd like to see if because them two strikers as well. Ho Kang is a hell of a striker too. And he just came back off a 2-year layoff. He looked ridiculous. Ho Kang recently, and Morozov will give him a good run in the grappling department. So maybe one of those two guys. You know what I mean? I don't know if they want to put him against somebody. Well, yeah, definitely not for Russia.
I don't know if I want to see him against one of these Russian dudes yet. I like his style in striking at the moment, so I'd enjoy seeing some more striking fights. You know what I mean? Even Cody Starman, man. Cody Starman would be a banging fight for him.
Yeah, Cody Starman, he'll grapple him, bro.
What about Raul Rosas Jr.?
I think he absolutely destroys him, doesn't he? Or has he already fought him? Did he not actually?
No, he hasn't fought him yet. Rosas is, I think he's 7-1 or 8-1, something like that.
So, no, sorry, it was Rodriguez. I'm linking Cameron Simon. Yeah, so Rodriguez beat Rosas Jr.
Yeah, and Rosas Jr. is 8-1. So 8-0 versus 8-1, both bantamweight prospects. Rosas Jr. was a phenom when he came in. When he had that loss, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, can he really go the distance?" So I think that'll be a good matchup to see those two. Peyton, who's sharp, he's clinical. Rosas, who's talented, he can grapple. It'll be a good test. I think it'll be a good test.
Yeah, good test. I mean, there's some like we said there's some names there. You know what I mean? what
We
you
got
just said there with Rosas Jr. I think somebody like a Morozov, Hokang, Miles Jones, like you said, could be a
yeah,
banger.
Adrian Yanez somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Somewhere down the line, I mean, those two strikers. So, yeah, Styles makes fights, and definitely to keep his stock high, we need to give him the right matchups. But big shout out to Peyton Talbot for that win. Fantastic win, and yeah, great win for him. Let's move on to the. I wanted to move on to the main event. Rose coming into a new division, right? And fighting somebody like a Rebus. Yeah, she took a loss of Amanda Farrow, but like I said, I went really too impressed with that fight the last time it went out. But this one here, I think she made some good adjustments. She looks like a flyweight. Before, it's almost like she's filled into it. Before, you could see the differential, even the power differential, the way she was getting ragged about by some of these flyweights. So I think in this fight she looks more like she belonged. I don't know what you thought, Jordan, in terms of Rose's performance against Rebus, and did you think the correct decision went to the right person?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, she never really put much out in many feet in the wrong place. I mean, she got caught a few times, but other than that, she was looking good throughout the fight. Like, it definitely went to the right person. She has filled out a lot more. Like, she's always looked like a smaller woman. I mean, she's always looked skinnier, but she's definitely filled out. She's been in the promotion now for 10 years, 2014 or something. She joined the UFC. Like, we've literally seen this like fighter go from a girl to a woman throughout her career. And can she be a double-weight champ? Is that where that's what she wants? And she probably had questions in there of herself. I questioned it. I mean, when I was having a look through it and doing my research and come up with my own reasoning, I thought, right, is she not, like, is she past it? Is she still got it? Is she still got the desire? Is she still got the motivation? Does she still want to be in there and do this? Yeah, I mean, been in there with Joanna Jacek, been in there with Zhang Wei Li, incredible fights against some incredible opponents. Has she still got it to go in there and put on a show, moving up a weight class and taking another belt? I wasn't sure. I thought Rebus was going to take that one. That was my pick of the night. How wrong was I?
Yeah, I mean, look, Rose still has a lot of work to do, but one thing that I do say is she's got good people around her. Our coaching staff, with Barry being there, the whole time. Trevor Whitman being in and around. Our coach, our gym sessions and training sessions with Kamaru Usman and Justin Gaethje as well. So it's not a crowded space where she works, where the coach really has to break his time, for a lot of students or fighters in the gym. It's just the three of them. That's it. And I think even Usman has gone back to Florida now. So it's just gonna be her and Justin in the gym. And that's it.
Yeah,
that's all Trevor Whitman looks after. Yeah, let me come to you in terms of with Rose Namajunas now, and we, like we said, Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso. For me, they're kind of holding up the division. They're having a third dance, and we're gonna have to wait to the next Ultimate Fighter finale to really figure out who's gonna be the champion, and for them to then take hiatus or take some kind of break before letting number one contender in. They've done this for the best part of a year, holding up the division basically, without letting any of the top fives see the champion. So could that save Rose time to make a run at the title while these lot are doing what they're doing? Could it save her time to give her time to do what she needs to do to at least get near the gatekeepers or the top five?
Yes. to answer your question.
Yeah.
Yes, I
That's
think
it.
definitely that's it. I think it's exactly what you're saying. They are holding up the division, and as fans, we generally tend not to like it. But with what the women's divisions are, I think it gives the divisions a chance to really find who is the next prospect, who should be making a run for the title next, because they're very fluid divisions, and that division very specifically, the flyweight division, is a very fluid division where you've got lots of good fighters, very stacked as well. So let them go at each other. Let's get someone who's got 3-4 wins in a row who can then stake their claim. Let's get that sort of fluidity, and the best way to do that is to have champions holding up the division where you need to be the best. You need to prove that you've been the best. You need to be really pushing, having 2-3 fights a year in order to get there. So as much as it's not the best, because like you said, we're now waiting. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the rest of the ladies can do in the meantime. Let's see who can really, put their flag on top of the mountain and say, I'm the one who needs to be next. So yes, Rose, I think, would be one of those people who would make a run to say, if you guys are only fighting in the next 4 or 5 months, after that, you need rest for another 4 or 5 months. I can fight maybe twice. I've already won my first fight in this weight class. Let me find someone else, and then someone else. And then next thing you know, I could be maybe one fight away from either number one contender or from the actual title. And Rose is good. So I think it's a good chance for her to do that. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to her giving that a shot.
She wants the winner of Blanchfield Mano-Furio. She said
I don't
that,
think she should be getting it that quickly. I know she's a former champion, but she needs at least 3 fights in this weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not important.
And look, it depends on how active she is as well. You know, she could get those 3 fights out of the way relatively quick. But Rose, I don't know. She's not a very active fighter. That's one of the downsides of of Rose's career. She's not a very, very active fighter. She probably fights once a year, once every 18 months to 2 years. If
that's it, you've nailed it. I'm actually looking at the women's flyweight rankings just now. They moved her in at number 7 on Tapology.
Right.
So she's already in the top 10 on there. I mean, she had 1 fight in 2022, 1 fight in 2023, 1 fight in 2024.
That's the ratio fight. So I don't know. God knows. It depends on her activity. Her activity could, being at number 7, if she's active, have a couple more fights before this year is done, she'd be in the top. She'd be in the top 5, ready to see wherever the champions. So it just depends on how active she is. She just chooses to fight once a year. Like, really and truly, you could get 3 fights in a year if you're really about it. You know what I mean? If you really want.
I think Macy Barber would be a good matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that fight, actually. I wouldn't mind that fight. I wouldn't mind that fight at all. Some of the other things that's come up on the internet, on the interweb, as they say, O'Malley is granting Merab his wish to challenge him for the title, for the next title defense. I see y'all smiling there. You look relatively happy about this, and I think I've had this discussion with you guys before, with Merab and what he's doing, not fighting for the title. So this kind of put a little bit of smile on my face as well. But what are you thinking, Yao? Talk to me.
So everyone on MMA Twitter was thinking that the UFC might protect O'Malley as a champion, give him someone else. Because, if you look at who Pantoja's fighting, why is he not fighting Ivalev? He's fighting Erceg. One of those things. Because you want to protect the champion, give a champion a good run so we can have, like we said, another golden age of champions. I don't know. There might be an intention, but yes, he should be fighting Merab. For O'Malley to be fighting anyone else would make no sense. From the moment that Merab took O'Malley's red jacket when he came into the ring after O'Malley beat Aljo, from that moment, this fight had to happen as soon as possible. for me, I'm very excited. The Machine versus now O'Malley, who seems to be invincible he seems to be invincible. We don't know how, but he is invincible. I really want to see that fight. The fans want to see that fight. That is the only fight that makes sense if we're talking about a bantamweight division that's stacked. We can't really have him fighting anyone else. The title has to be decided by the two best right now. And then after that, it will have to be settled by the next best, whether it be Merab versus someone else or Merab versus O'Malley if it's close, or O'Malley versus the next best. But it has to be Merab versus O'Malley first, because that is the most tantalizing fight in the UFC right now. Even if we look at the pay-per-view numbers that O'Malley did in his last defense, it only makes sense to put him up against Merab right now. It's literally the biggest fight that they have. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one, and I'm looking forward to whichever pay-per-view they have it at.
McDane, we, like I said, you know, we've talked a lot about Merab. Merab not wanted to fight Sterling. Merab wanted to leave the door open for Sterling for a rematch. Sterling's moved up. He's on the 300 card. Albeit it's a prelim, but it's part of that iconic card, as you know, as they put it.
Yeah.
So he's done what he's had to do to make sure he's got himself on the card. But O'Malley announcing now that, you know, Merab is his next title defense. Is that sort of, as you see with Easy, picking your own? Yeah, it's the next logical one, but picking your next opponent, as you say, does that play some kind of mental edge? Does it give mental edge? Like, you know what, I'm allowing you to come and, you know what I mean, to have a stab at it. I could have looked someone, but I'm giving you a shot, rather than Merab thinking he's created a shot for himself and taking the shot. What's your take on the whole thing? What's going on there?
I don't think it is like a mental jab. I don't think it's a thing where he's going to like win anything over him on that one yet. I mean, I think Merab's mindset's pretty solid in how he approaches fights, regardless of how it comes about. He probably is looking at it as that's probably the easiest fight. And I don't mean that in the way as he's going to beat Merab. I just mean that when you look at the rankings, I think Corey Sandhagen's going to give Sean the most difficult fight out of all of the contenders. But obviously, he's out at the moment recovering from elbow surgery or whatever it was that he had. I think Merab, the dude's incredible. His output, his drive, his wrestling, like, he's insane. But Sean is much, much taller. He's very rangy. He's very fast. The stance switching, like his pinpoint accuracy, like everything about, like, people can shit on Sean all they want because they don't like his personality, or they might not even like his fighting style, whatever it is.
Or the colors he wears.
Yeah, or what colors he wears. Like you cannot, you know what I mean? If he wants to go in there pink shorts and pink hair, or purple and green hair, whatever the fuck he wants to do, like, you cannot deny the man's skill set. And I honestly don't think it's going to be as much of a walkthrough as what a lot of people think for Merab. I really don't. It could easily go the same way as it went for Aljo. A little draw you in, step back, crack. And that could be it. The man's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the accuracy. Let's say he's got the footwork, he's got the feints. His feints are incredible. Merab's got crazy output, but he's got to make that distance shorter to get in there to hit him, especially when you've got a long rangy fucking Sugar Sean in front of your face. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be a mental thing for him at all.
Sugar Sean sleeps Sandhagen, by the way, easy. If that fight happens, sleeps. Yep.
I don't know, man. I honestly think that's his most difficult fight in there. He could, I don't know. It is a tough matchup. He could sleep him. You're not wrong. He
you know what? I don't think Sugar is really for somebody with the rich length and submission threats of a Sandhagen, apart from Sterling. And Sterling, by his own admission, said he was a dum-dum for playing Sean's game and trying to strike with him. Yeah. When you got all that fucking grappling and submission threat in your back pocket, You thought, nah, I'm the champion.
That was mental warfare because Sean got into his head of first to shoot's a bitch. You know what I mean?
Right,
And he didn't. He
right.
was like, "Yeah, I'll stand and trade with you."
I'll start
Like,
that trade with you.
that's-
That is like, yo, you know, that's dumb business. You know what I mean? Like, you've got something that he don't got, and you choose to stand with him when everybody knows he's probably one of the best strikers in the division. I'd say he's the best in the division because he beat Yan, and I used to think Yan was the best when it comes to boxing. So, you know, looking at it, I don't think Corey will go in there looking to stand and bang with him. I think he just look to clinch, take him to the ground, wrap him up, take his back, choke him out, and Sandhagen can do that all day long. So,
and that's why I think O'Malley's going to win, because that's exactly what Aljo would have, or you would have expected from Aljo, and look what happened. And I think a similar thing is going to happen to Sandhagen, where he's going to go in for the wrap-up, and O'Malley be waiting with a check right or check left or a knee or something, maybe moving backwards.
You're replaying. Stop replaying Curtis Blades to me. Stop it. I know what you're doing, yo. I know what you're doing, man.
No, but at the same time, right? You're both right, like within your own rights. But at the same, Corey's smart. Like, his fight IQ is very, very high. Like, if you listen to him do any analytics, you listen to him break down any fights, you know what I mean? He's not got the whiteboard out or the green screen out like Henry Cejudo does, going, now watch him step there and do all that. You know what I mean? But he can break things down very, very quickly in a very intelligent manner. And he knows that he needs to take the fight to Sean. I don't think he'll sit on the back foot too much. I don't think he will wait and try and wrap him up too much. I think we'll probably, out of Corey Sandhagen, I think we'll probably see the fight that we expected to see out of Cheeto against Sugar Sean. He'll attack the legs. He'll push the pace that little bit more. The man can crack too. His striking's up there as well.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's probably one of the most difficult fights in the division for Sean O'Malley right now.
It's a compelling fight. Definitely is a compelling fight whenever it gets put together. If it does get put together, it's one of those that you really have to look at. And before I come off the UFC Vegas 89 topic, I want to give a special shout to one Zelal. Let me see, Mr. Zelal, the Moroccan brother. This guy, I'm telling you, yeah. The way he went about his business, and put out Billy Quarantillo. I mean, Billy Q, very, very experienced. He's been around the sport a long time, and to go in and shut down Billy Q in that manner, I think is absolutely phenomenal. Big win, finishing him like that. What do you make of it, Yao? In terms of a young prospect like Zalal?
I think it's one of those where you see a young prospect against a more skilled, more experienced opponent coming from Morocco, far away. Quarantillo has the home ground advantage. He had a draw in his last fight. So, you think, okay, you know what? Quarantillo's definitely going to take this. Who is Zalal? But to come out and actually win by submission in the second round, I mean, within 2 minutes, that's commendable. That's impressive. And excuse me, with a record of 14 and I think it was 13-5 when he started the fight, you didn't expect anything from him at all. So very happy to see another African MMA practitioner in the UFC getting a win. The Moroccan Devil, that was a great win. I'm looking forward to the next fight from him. But yeah, Quarantillo, let's see what he can do in the next fight. This just wasn't his.
McDane, Zalal, did he surprise you?
Fucking big time, mate. Fucking big time. Yeah, I mean, I was team Billy Q all day long. I thought his experience was going to take this one. I thought it was going to be a 3-rounder. Looking at Zalal's tapology, you're like, what is he even doing in there? Yeah, I mean, when he went from a boxing fight to a kickboxing fight to an MMA fight in the same night, then all of a sudden he's back in the UFC. It was just like, what is going on with this man's career right now? I thought he shouldn't have even been in there. with Billy Q. If I'm honest, I'm still rocking with Team Billy Q, man. Like you said, he's going to go away, he's going to recoup, he's going to fix what he needs to do, and he's going to come back. That wasn't the Billy Q that we used to see and that we've seen in there that night. Mate, hats off to Salal. That's all I've got to say in the matter. I'm sitting silent on Friday. If we're doing all of this tonight, I'm sitting silent on Friday.
No, I mean, for me, I was the only one to pick him as well.
You was, mate. You was. Hats off to you too on that one. You know what I mean?
No, seriously, I thought he definitely needed that win, and somebody as active as Billy Q. You know, it's one thing to be that active, being that active with that age, you're racking up mileage, and against all these young, hungry motherfuckers, eventually one of them is gonna catch you by law of averages. You know, it was only a matter of time. And look, Billy Q is well respected. Like I said it last Friday, well respected, been in the game a long time, and is one of those guys that, you know, on his day he can teach this young up and coming hungry fuckers one
Just
or
got an
two
itch there
lessons
for Leroy.
and send them back down there with their tails stuck between their legs. You know what I mean? So it just wasn't Billy Q's day, and like you said, he'll be back. I want to talk about Jamal Hill. He calls out UFC 305 versus Pereira, and he calls it a mismatch. He said, Pereira, I'm sticking with you on this one, Jordan. It says Pereira does not belong in there with him. Pereira will get his ass whooped every day and twice on Sunday. This is what Jamal Hill is saying. I mean, what's your take on? There's one thing trying to sell the fight, but to me, he's coming across as serious and taking it as an insult almost in terms of his skill level, how long this guy's been in the UFC, so on and so forth. I think that's how he's looking at it. What do you think?
I think he's underestimating him, just like everybody else has when he's gone in there. You know what I mean? Like, if he's talking about standing and trading with Alex Pereira and going into his world of the kickboxing or boxing and standing there and striking, I think he's really underestimating the kicks from Alex Pereira too, and the power that they carry. Like, you want to stand in front of that man, he's going to chop you up. He's going to walk you down. He's going to slice at those legs, and he's just going to strike you with power that you've probably not felt before. It's going to be an interesting matchup, and that's not me counting Jamal Hill out completely. I think Jamal Hill is probably like a plus 175 underdog at the moment too. So it wouldn't be a stupid bit of money to be sticking on Jamal Hill, because I'm not saying like there's no way he can't win this fight. You know what I mean? But I think underestimating Pereira, you've got to be confident. They've all got to be confident. They've all got to say what they've got to say to get in the right mindset to say, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to beat this man. And they've got to believe in themselves 100%. But to say that Pereira doesn't belong to be there and that he is cutting above his weight, I suppose, like, nah, let's see what happens, mate. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. When it comes to Alex Pereira, like Jordan is saying there, and the way it's almost being looked over, it's almost not being recognized like the champion that he is, because he's now been a champion of 2 divisions, and I think that demands respect. And it's not just about him being them champions, it's who he beat to get them titles and keep the titles. To beat somebody like Yuri Prohaska, easy. Israel Adesanya, like that's major work. You gotta be something special. As easy as referred to Alex Pereira, that he's a special fighter. He's been on the end of his knockouts, so I'm sure he knows all about it. What do you think of all this talk here with Jamal Hill kind of looking over Alex Pereira in this fight that's coming up?
It's tricky. It's difficult because Jamal has a leg to stand on in the fact that he's a seasoned light heavyweight. But what you said is very important. Who has he beat? Unfortunately for Jamal Hill, the only person he's beat that is of any real value is Glover Teixeira for when he won the title. Other than that, he's beaten Thiago Santos, who's never won a title, Johnny Walker, Okay, and then the rest of the names. Okay, he lost to Paul Craig. Ovance improves beat. So unfortunately, his rise to the title was not star-studded. He did not go through a lot of names. Whereas Alex Pereira's beaten, like you said, he's beaten I think 4 former champions: Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prohaska, and now he comes up against Jamal Hill. I think
This
what's
man's
going
moving
through
like
Jamal.
Thanos, just racking up the fucking rings, isn't it?
I mean,
He's moving like Thanos, man. Just racking up the rubies, man. Just being former champions for joke.
His first fight in the UFC was at Usman Covington 2, and that was just now. So it's exactly what you said. He's shown that he can literally beat anyone. The only person who's beat him right now in the UFC is someone who had to literally go within himself. And if you saw Adesanya before that second fight, he literally had to take himself to another realm.
Poor duck collar on himself, bro.
Duck in order.
He went all duck collar on him, man.
That's what it took to beat Poatan. So I don't think that Jamal Hill fully recognizes. But then again, Jamal Hill's a talker. He's got a YouTube channel. He's trying to get his followers together, all of that stuff. So maybe it could just be talk. I'm not sure who is listening as such, but I do still think that he does mean business, and it will be a good fight. It's not going to be a walkover either way. He's just talking if he thinks it's going to be a walkover, but I think he does give Pereira a good fight simply because he's slightly more unorthodox than a lot of the other fighters that Pereira might have fought. Jamal is a little bit more street as much as he's got technical skill. So for me, that's why I'm giving it a good fight and the potential that Jamal will catch Pereira. But it's Poatan, baby. The hook of death. Left hook. Let's go.
I actually just jumped on over there to have a look to see if either of them had a little bit of reach on each other, and they don't. 79 inches each. If anything, Poatan's got half an inch in the leg reach. But
yeah, and the one thing we know, I mean, look, Poatan ain't just a boxer, he's a kickboxer, and them knees in the clinch, them kicks, them calf kicks, they're going to come into play, and that in itself is enough to stop Jamal Hill's boxing and his offense, and
yeah.
I'm just looking at this fight, and to me, Poatan looks like he has more tools to win this fight than Jamal Hill. So
it's also the timeout as well for Jamal. Yeah, I mean, he's been out for quite a while. So how's that going to take an effect when he's going back in there as well? All this stuff going on outside of his career with his brother and the court case or whatever's going on with all of that. How's that going to be affecting his mindset in the camp and going into the fight and just all of it? Yeah, I mean, he's gotten out of shape as well between that fight and between his last fight and this fight. Yeah, I mean, his body weight has fluctuated a couple of times. Let's say, if he ever sees this podcast, he'll probably come at me on Twitter for calling him fat. I ain't calling him fat, but he did put on a little bit of beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
his waistline became elastic.
He
enjoyed himself. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it do be like that. It do be like that for them. Let me come off that topic real quick, and let's touch on this one here with Ian Garry and Michael Venom Page. Venom Page obviously is eyeballing some of the fighters at the top. You know, he's mentioned a Wonder Boy. We're talking about Ian Garry here. He's even talking about Leon Edwards. So MVP is not looking. I'm sure he's had words with the brasses and the powers that be. That look, I ain't really got much time on my hands here. It's 37, I believe.
Yeah.
And to come in at that age and trying to work your way back from top 15 and all that, they're gonna have to cherry pick some fights for him. But Ian Garry is somebody that had to take a lot of abuse, and claw his way up to wherever he is now. And all of a sudden, MVP wants some of that hard work that Ian Garry has been suffering himself to get up there. Magdane, what are you making of Ian saying, fuck you, fuck no, you ain't getting no fight from me. Get back in the back of the queue. What are you making of all of that?
Is what it is, and he's not wrong, is he? You know what I mean? When you do look at who he's had to go and fight to get to where he is now, and then you're looking at somebody just entering the promotion, granted, has got a name already behind him, has one of the funkiest styles you'll ever see, beat Kevin Holland in a fashion that you wasn't expecting, where he really frustrated him to the point he had Kevin Holland dancing around that octagon, imitating him. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be an interesting matchup. It would be a really interesting fight. Yeah, I mean, both of them are rangy. His style, as I say, is mad. How would Ian handle that? But I can understand where Ian's standpoint is on that one. Like why he doesn't want to. Like he said, he was like, "See, if your number's higher than mine, then maybe we can talk about it." But right now, it's not. So shut up and get to the back of the queue. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at that fight, man, and bro, I'm just seeing question mark kick for days.
I'm more interested in Wonderboy. MVP versus Wonderboy would be an absolutely incredible fight.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. And again, it's their styles, but will they cancel each other out? This is the part, because everybody was thinking Holland coming into that fight with MVP that maybe we'll see if he uses any of those grappling that he learned when he spent a short stint at AKA, but clearly none of that worked.
MVP shit his pants when he did though, but go on, Yao.
Yeah, please. What's your take on all this crazy shit going on with Ian Gary and Michael Venom Page, and Gary just telling him get to the back of the queue, man. You're not using my name to jump the queue.
I agree with both of you. I think Gary's 100% right. It's as simple as I'm not here for fancy fights. I'm here to get to the top. It's that simple. If you're at the top, I'll chase you. If you're not, you chase me, but I'm not going to give it up. And Ian Gary's consistent. He said the same thing to Joaquin Buckley before, I think it was sometime last year, about 10 months ago. He met up with Buckley, and Buckley said, hey, why don't we fight? It'll be a great fight. And it probably would have been a nice fight, but Gary's like, listen, unless you're higher than me, I'm not fighting you. So he's being consistent, and I'm a big Ian Gary fan, despite all the abuse online, etc. I'm a fan. So for me, the consistency is something I definitely like. With regards to MVP, okay, look, I don't think it would be a nice fight anyway. Between him and Gary, I don't really like that fight, honestly. It's not one that tickles my fancy, even if he was above Ian Gary. It's just not one that stylistically appeals to me. But him versus Wonderboy, sure. But I'd like to see him, I don't know, against someone who might give him more of a challenge, like you said, in the grappling specifically, not necessarily the BJJ or the wrestling, but in the grappling. So yeah, I'm very happy with Ian Gary saying, no, listen, MVP, you're new here. Same as what Usman said to Khamzat. Listen, I know you want to come for the top, you want to come for the king, but you can't come for me until you've done a little bit of work. And I think Ian Gary's earned that as much as MVP is more experienced in Bellator. Ian Gary's earned that, as you said, McDane, in the UFC with the people that he's fought. So big ups to him. Good on him for making sure he's maintaining and looking at the top. Let's get it. Let's go. Welterweight champion soon, the future.
Yeah, man, 100%. And we finish on this one here. Islam Makhachev. Right, I've just seen a question. I saw a question in the chat earlier on. Say these two, him and Khamzat, meet in the sweet middle at 170. Because Islam said they wanted to go 170 anyway. Khamzat fought at 170 before. Yo, which one of them two wins for you, Islam or Khamzat, and why?
Do you want a minute to think about it?
Yeah, look, it's a tough one. Both wrestlers, both with, I wouldn't say similar records, but if you look at what they've done, it's all some sort of wrestling wins. But I'm gonna go. You're making me glitch. I'm gonna go Khamzat.
That was like Peyton Talbot's celebration. That
fucking hell. Oh my god, what is going on here, man? I'm
gonna go Khamzat simply because of the dog in Khamzat. If I look at Islam's fights versus you disagree. McDane disagrees. If I look at Islam's fight, and if I look at Khamzat, I'm going to go for Khamzat simply because of what he did against Gilbert Burns, what he's done against Usman. For me, those two fights mean, yes, they went to decision-ish, but but he pulled it out against two amazing fighters, whereas he was a fairly new fighter. So for me, I'm going with him for that reason. Whereas Makhachev, he's great. He dethroned the great Alexander Volkanovski. Yes, but Khamzat.
What about you, Magdalene?
So, oh well, you know I like Khamzat, bro. You know I like him.
Yeah,
we might have had a little side piece on that one. And somebody walked away with some money. Let's not get back into that though.
But you had to run so fucking wound, didn't you?
You be fucking with me all night. You be fucking with me all night, bro. You line this one up. This was coming. You know what I mean? I told you your boy was going to get smashed. Anyway, 5-round fight, that was different. So it's going to be a 5-round fight. Yeah, remember that. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a title fight. It's going to be 5 rounds. Look at the fight with Gilbert. Yes, very, very good performance in the opening rounds. Look at the performance with Usman. Very good fight in the opening round.
That's true.
Until we got into the second one. I think Islam could weather the storm of the chaos of Khamzat Chimaev in that opening round. I know what you're saying. Like, he comes out fast. He's going to put it on him. We've seen Islam, Arman Tsarukyan. Yeah, I mean, took him down. Had him there. That I think he's probably his toughest matchup right now. And if he can beat Charles Oliveira, then who knows? He might get his chance again. But I think against Khamzat, even at 170, I think he can take his dig. I think he can take the wrestling pressure. He can weather the storm. I don't think he's going to get submitted within that opening round. Khamzat's going to gas. Islam Makhachev's going to take that fight. Because Islam can crack too. And we've seen Khamzat get cracked. Like, Gilbert cracked him. Gilbert had him fucking stunned and wobbled for a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, bro, Islam all day for me on that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, it's Team Khabib over here, man. Like, it's gotta be Islam. Like I said, I've said great things about their coaches as well, and the work that Javier Mendes' job is done with all those fighters. I go all the way back to Cain Velasquez and DC. As I mentioned, like, when you look at some of the fighters that Javier Mendes is looked after, it's just incredible. And for somebody like Khamzat, that would be a coup. It will be part of their game plan. Whether the early storm drainer is gas tank, it will be part, and we've seen it. Don't forget, I did say if they meet at 170, Khamzat kills himself to get to 170. It makes that gas tank even, even more
weaker,
susceptible to Islam attack. So, definitely would go. I don't think at 185. I think it could be a whole different story for Islam in terms of putting on the right muscle mass and everything to compete with the 185 and a rehydrated Khamzat at that. So, when you think about it, this is why
where would the fight be? Where would you want to see? It's going to be Abu Dhabi.
It's got to be Abu Dhabi.
Those rehydration techniques are awfully suspect out that way, brother. You know what I mean? These men are going to be coming in fueled to the gills, like.
Yeah, but it's going to be in Abu Dhabi, and them motherfuckers don't give a fuck over there, but So, yeah, I fancy Islam's chances. But what do you make, sticking with you, Jordan, what do you make of him just dissing Dustin Poirier and calling him a permanent contender? Like, yeah, never gonna be a champion. Fucking, you just always gonna be a bridesmaid, never the bride. Like, what do you think of that, bro?
Is he wrong? Yeah, I mean, like, I love Dustin Poirier, but is he wrong? Like, that's just one way you've got to kind of look at it. What was it he said? If you were the best in the world, you'd be champion by now, or something along those lines. Paraphrasing on that one.
Yeah.
Is he wrong? Like, there's nothing really much to say on that, is there? You know what I mean?
No.
I don't think he. I don't think. Rightfully so. Dustin's getting towards the end of his career. We all know this year, maybe early next year, one more fight, maybe two more fights max. I don't think we're going to see Dustin Poirier in the promotion for much longer. Maybe he's going to go to some bare knuckle boxing or something along those lines. But it'll be. He's making his claim. He wants one more shot. You know what I mean, he just had an impressive, a very, very impressive win over Benoit Saint-Denis. And he's going, do you know what? I just absolutely wrecked your prospect that ragdolled me for a round and a half before I chinned him. Give me my last shot. This is Dustin's last call for gold. You know what I mean? But if he keeps pulling the gilly, then you know what's gonna happen against Islam Makhachev if he keeps pulling the gilly. You know what I mean?
You don't want them problems, man. Let me give you a last stab at this as well, Yao. When it comes to this talk here with Islam and just putting the smackdown on Dustin, talking about the title, title challenge losses that he's had 2 or 3, which doesn't make good reading for Dustin Poirier, and kind of throwing some shade on him and calling him a permanent contender. What's your take on that, brother?
One of the titles that Dustin has, other than having been a potential BMF, is being one of the greatest fighters to never win a title. Although he won the interim title, and I think he will stay with that title, unfortunately. Like Jordan said, this is his last call for a title. Islam's not likely to give it to him because, realistically speaking, if you look at how he's dealt with anyone with any real wrestling or grappling capability, he tried against the Bronx, but all he could do was lie on his back and pull guard and maybe try and defend himself through a round. So I don't think he's going to get another title shot. I agree with Islam. He is going to be a permanent contender, gatekeeper, unless by any miraculous chance Makhachev loses to someone who wants to fight Poirier. But then what's the odds of that? What's the odds of Makhachev losing to someone who wants to fight Poirier in the time frames that would have Poirier still fight?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's going to get another title shot. Let's see what happens with the rest of his career. The question I would start asking myself is, who would I like to see him fight last?
Well, have they not already said Gaethje's next? Even regardless of the Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira fight, have they not already said that Gaethje's going to be the next to fight Islam Makhachev?
Apparently. But this is the UFC.
I know anything can swap and change, but they've got the storyline. If they go for that, they really do. You got the head
both
kick
of them
from
their
Gaethje.
belts, then it sets up for BMF versus undisputed champion, and winner takes all sort of thing. So
they could do double champ in the same night.
Winner takes all. I like that one. I actually like that one.
I think that'd be the only way. But is Gaethje going to beat Islam Makhachev? Probably not.
Who knows?
Man can crack, but he's going to get tapped.
Who knows? Again, like I said, there's one person that has the dossier and the blueprints and the map where you miss all the fucking minefields into fighting Dustin Poirier and the Justin Gaethje, and that's Javier Mendez. He done it with Khabib. He just pulled that manual out again and said, Islam, do that. You know what I mean? Literally, Islam, there you go. The dossier is there, the work's already there. And like I said, unless they've added some new wrinkles to their game that we're not aware of, namely the guillotine and the pulling guard that we saw from
You'll
Dustin.
finally get the guillotine.
Don't be silly. Pull the gilly.
Exactly. Maybe. Who knows? But I mean, Javier Mendez, I think he'd have something like that tucked up in his back pocket on how to deal with those guys. So we'll see. Only time will tell. We've come to the end of the show, people. Thank you to all of you that stayed with us. Quite a good number of you, 36, 37 at one point. Big up yourself. thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I want to thank Yao. I want to thank Jordan for pulling up. Make sure you're joining us on Friday for the prediction show. We're going to be back for that Manon Fiorot versus Erin Blanchfield prediction show.
Ooh,
So make sure you're joining us for that one. And there's plenty more coming up over the next month. Octagon Fight is coming up next month. And the one that I'm really, really looking forward to, both of them friends of the show, we're going to be reaching out to them. Aaron AB versus Sam Chrissy. I love those two guys. Down to earth. If you could find two most humble people in this world and you throw them in the octagon, that's what's going to happen with these two. And these 2 got champion mentality between both of them. So that's one fight that I'm really, really looking forward to that's coming up. Jordan, what do you have coming up? What do you have lined up? And tell the people where they can find you, brother.
So I've got Rhys McEwen coming on tomorrow. He's fighting on Cage Warriors, April 20th, same night as the Octagon 56 card. Obviously he just had his shot there against Gittins, unfortunately never went his way, so he's coming on tomorrow. We are also going to, I'm just going to plug this right now too, we're going to be running a giveaway. I'm giving away 2 tickets to Cage Warriors Glasgow on April the 20th in partnership with Rhys McEwen and Eric's Gear. So that'll be dropping on Instagram on Friday. We're going to discuss it tomorrow. Once he's on the podcast, we're going to talk about some stuff, talk about the fights coming up. Talk a little bit about Rhys. If you don't know too much about him, we're going to get into how he got into it and all the rest of it. I've got tons of shit lined up for him. But yeah, keep your eye out for the giveaway because that's going to be coming if you want to win 2 tickets to go and see the Cage Warriors event in Glasgow. They haven't been there for many years, so it is going to be an epic night that you don't want to miss. So for your chance, make sure you jump on that. What else have I got going on? I'm going to Octagon to cover it as media. I've also got next week I have Dennis Frimpong, Shamrock, Aaron, just like both of them men are coming on at the same time as well. I've got Aaron Aby. He's going to be coming on. Need to line up the date with that one. Zach Puega. I need to line up that one too. I need to actually shoot that man a message and get the date set for that. Who else? Oh man, I've just got so much lined up for next week. I need to reach out. I need to reach out to the bro Moddy B and get him lined up too, because I know you got that one sorted out for me, brother. So I appreciate that. Well, bro. Like, so I need to shout out. I know I need to shout out with Mike. I've got so many dudes lined up for next week, so don't miss it. I've got tons of interviews coming up. But other than that, you'll find me here on the Friday Rambling Dad podcast on YouTube, the Rambling Dad MMA podcast on Instagram. Go and give me a follow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Go show the man some love as you're here. Busy guy. He knows his MMA and he's doing great stuff on his own platform.
I try
stuff on his own channel. So yeah, make sure.
I thought I knew my MMA until last fucking weekend. I also do picks and predictions videos, people, with a little bit of a breakdown. And my reasoning, if you go and watch them, is 100% solid.
You fucking wankers. Both of you screwed me last week. You and fucking Jordan screwed me out of fucking $70. I'm still pissed off.
Don't blame me. You can't blame me.
I was going to do a video like you.
He's the one who drops it. He's the one who just got knocked out and you fucking click that.
Bro,
oh, mate.
No. You egged it on, man. Like both of you fucking
cashed out quicker than the Baltimore Bridge, man. Boom,
bro.
Gone.
I was looking to do a video like yours, how to turn 5 pounds to 500 pounds. You know what I mean? I was gonna do one of those. And then one bam, fucking man tells me Corey Anderson just been knocked out, and he didn't. And I pushed cash out. I was so fast on that cash out.
He was, right,
bro. So fast on that button. Yeah, bro, I'm fuming. I'm still fuming about that. But big up to Jordan. Big up to yourself. Thank you so much. I know that a lot of the work that you do in the MMA space. What about you, yeah? What do you got coming up? Where do people can find you? Tell everyone.
So coming up, I'm gonna be paying Jordan to do my promos because his was amazing. Like I should give him all my information so he can do mine, but we're not quite as busy as that right now. We're now gearing up for EFC 112 coming up in April the 11th. It's going to be the second event of 2024, and in that one we have a double header where we have 2 titles up for grabs: the lightweight title between Igor Cabeza and Kabanda, and Luke Michael versus JP Kruger. Finally, the middleweight. Middleweight championship will be finally united between those two. Let's see how that fight goes. Young Gun, I think, takes it simply because he's been working hard, the age. Let's see how House of Tinkerbell does. JP Kruger is an amazing fighter. He obviously beat Conrad Siabi. Looking forward to UFC 112. We've got Versus 9 coming up as well in May. So there's lots of MMA happening in South Africa right now. We've got Ace Fighting Championship coming up. We've got interviews with Nick Wende, with the Gladiator Sylvester Chifambu. So we've got a lot coming up as well. But yeah, really looking forward to April. Honestly, April is going to be a really, really good month in MMA in South Africa, in Africa. Let's get it. Let's go. Kick him in the head. Oh,
Kick him
one
in
last
the
thing.
head.
So Jordan,
I think I should
I'm
pay.
going to walk away for you guys again. Just
Oh,
you
yes,
can get
mate.
it.
I gotta see that. Gotta see that. Everybody, peep this walkout.
Oh my day. Like, hold
That
on.
is incredible.
He just disappeared into
Bring
the
it back. Bring it back.
just disappeared into the space, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Big up to you. Thank you so much. I think I should pay both of you to really do my promos for me because both of you does yours so well. But big
I'm
up
sure,
to all
I'm sure
of
we
you.
can come up with something, mate. I'm sure we come up with something.
Yeah,
we'll
boy.
get you out to do the
When I
reels
when I
for
when I
us,
say
man, 'cause his reels are popping, like-
when I say pay, I mean imaginary pay, like no pay.
Yeah.
I mean
you
free
only pay you only pay
like,
to me when
like
you
free
lose a bet,
pay,
bro.
bro.
You only pay
What
to
you-
me when you lose a bet.
What are you talking about, man?
Wait, did you say free pay, Ola?
Yeah, free pay. You know what I mean? If
You
ain't
never heard of free pay, bro. That's between friends. Yeah.
free pay, man. You know what I mean? No Apple Pay, none of that Google Pay, none of it's free pay, bruv. That's what I fuck with, man. Free pay. So no, big up to all of you, man. Thank you very much for pulling up tonight, man. Salute to everybody that stayed with us on the show. Please drop in the likes, whether you watch live, whether you're watching it on playback. Make sure you're supporting these two guys on the screen right now. Their handles are going to be in the description below. And also make sure that you're following all of the Fight Week Show platforms. Is right there behind me on the screen over there. No, over there. That's it. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's over there on the screen. Make sure you're joining us on our YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. We're everywhere on Twitter as well. So yeah, please show us some love. We're going to be back this weekend with the prediction show, and we got some interviews lined up for you guys as well. So make sure you don't miss it. And up onto the next video, people. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute.
Peace.
Kick him in the head. Don't forget, add Head Kick Pod on all platforms.